The opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Consult a financial professional before you invest. Remember to educate yourself first and have the ability to ask the right questions. Hold your financial professional accountable. You and only you are accountable to your wealth and legacy. Welcome to the Wealthy Bucket. In today's session, we're going to discuss dividends. Stock dividends. So what are they? Stock dividends are monthly or quarterly cash payments received by a shareholder for investing their time and their money into a stock. And for this time and money, they will be rewarded with a cash payment. There are a couple major reasons why an investor pursues this strategy. The number one reason is income. Now, it's perceived income. We will discuss this later. The chart below is Johnson & Johnson. Now, Johnson & Johnson pays each shareholder 61 cents per quarter, so that's every 3 months, or the equivalent of $2.44 a year for investing their time and money into the stock. The second major reason is stock accumulation, or what is perceived as wealth accumulation. And this is accomplished through a DRIP program, or a dividend reinvestment plan. Every quarter, the dividends received are reinvested to purchase more stock for the shareholder. Let's take a deeper look into this. Now, as a shareholder, you will receive 61 cents a quarter, or $2.44 per year. Now, if you owned 100 shares, or the equivalent of today's value, $7,200 in equity or stock, you would receive $244 a year. 1,000 shares, or the equivalent of $72,000, is equal to $2,440 per year. Or 10,000 shares, or $720,000, you would receive $24,440 per year. Let's stop and take a moment and think about this. How many investors have the ability to invest $720,000 into one stock for $24,000 a year? Now, $24,000 a year is a fairly decent income from one investment. Absolutely. There's no argument from me. Now, $72,000 into one investment is still a fairly hefty price to receive only $2,440 per year. Think about your annual expenses. How much does it cost you to survive, and not just survive, but to be able to live the life that you want to live on $2,440 a year? It's not exactly easy. Now, if you are starting out with less than $10,000 and you accepted this strategy, you would receive a whopping $244 a year. It's not a lot of money. Again, we'd like to reiterate that the income received is just perceived income. There are many ways to receive income from the capital markets without investing too much time and money into one stock. Now, the monies received based on today's current price of Johnson & Johnson equates to about a 3% return every year. Are you satisfied with 3%? If you are, then that's okay. Can you do better than 3% a year? Or ask yourself the question, do you want more than 3% a year? most people's expenses are a lot higher than a 3% return every year. There are times that you're going to hear about yield. The yield of a stock simply fluctuates with its price, meaning if the stock price moves lower, then the yield goes up. If the stock price moves up, the yield comes down. The only constant is the actual dividend. And in this case, Johnson & Johnson pays 61 cents every quarter. We feel there are two ideal times to hold a dividend-paying stock. The first, when the stock price is moving upwards, simply because the investor will receive a capital gain for investing their time and their money into the stock, along with a cash payment every quarter. The second reason is when the stock price is moving sideways, meaning the investor has less of a chance of losing capital while receiving this dividend payment. We feel the investor should be cautious during the sideways movement of a stock simply because if the range of the action or the movement is greater than the payment received, this can possibly negate all the dividend received, rendering the time and money invested into the stock a complete waste. The investor, we feel, should be cautious if the stock price is moving lower or trending lower, simply because the downwards movement of a stock is generally greater than the dividend received, this rendering the time and money invested into the stock again a complete waste. We will be covering this topic in more detail in future sessions on Wealthy Bucket. Remember, it's all about deliberate action. We're here to extract that money, to create that income, and to realize that lifestyle that you've wanted. We thank you for attending our session. We sincerely appreciate you investing your time with Wealthy Bucket. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.